It's season 2 of Ag and Culture. And of course, we are talking culture. Tune in for great guests and conversation, breaking down all things agriculture. Watch us on our YouTube channel, MS Footprint Farms, and on Facebook at Footprint Farms. Every Tuesday, 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern, and 7 a.m. on the West. Proudly sponsored by Heifer USA.
Good morning and welcome to our show, Ag and Culture, Season 2. I'm your host, LeGrand Elliott, and of course, my lovely co-host is Dr. Cindy Ayers Elliott. Ag and Culture, we're talking all things agriculture, but more specifically, how it affects farmers and ranchers of color. This is a very interactive show. We're talking about politics, we're talking medicine, we're talking food and wine as well. So we want this to be a very interactive show, so we definitely want you to reach out to us. Instagram, you can hit us up at Facebook. Footprint Farms, Instagram Footprint Farms, and of course the website is footprintfarmsms.com, or you can reach us locally 601-910-5534. And we want to definitely give a shout out to our title sponsor, Heifer International USA. For over 75 years, Heifer International USA has been helping farmers and ranchers all over the world and this country to basically maintain and sustain a successful agriculture business. This morning, he really needs no introduction to us, but I'm going to introduce him anyway. Our guest this morning is Dr. William Bruce Evans. He's Chief Scientist and Director of Horticulture Applications for Biosoil Enhancers out of Hattiesburg, Mississippi. He is a former researcher at Mississippi State and also serves as a consultant for Footprint Farms. So to us, he's just Dr. Bill Evans, but without further ado, Dr. William Bruce Evans. Welcome to Ag and Culture.
Good morning. I'm happy to be here. I'm with family.
That's right.
And it's a loving family. It's great. And
well, Dr. Bill, just getting started, just kind of run down and give us a little bit of your background, your history, and we'll kind of get to the importance of having a Dr. Bill in your corner when it comes to agriculture.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Great. Well, so I'm a horticulturist, which means I study flowers, fruits, and vegetables, mainly vegetables in my case, soils and things like that. I started years ago. I had Utah State University, Oklahoma State University, Michigan State University rather, before I started working for Ohio State, running a small vegetable station for a few years. Then I came to Mississippi State, where I ran a bigger station and did more research. I was with them for 17 years. Mm-hmm. And then I moved on and I did another job with a food hub here in Jackson called Up and Farms, and we did food production and integrating from small growers. And now I work for a company called Biosoil Enhancers out of Hattiesburg, mm-hmm. and we provide soil microbes that help your plants grow.
Well, now, Dr. Bill, we know you do all of that, but you also still a big part of working with Black farmers and small farmers throughout this state. So we want to make sure that we bring that to fruition as well, because you still help us in so many different ways and help small farmers. So again, we want to talk about some of that and to talk about this new venture that you're doing. But without a doubt, farming, you are a farmer from the standpoint of what you've done and how many farmers you helped to become truly farmers and not just gardeners.
How many farmers do you think that, if I can interview the interviewee, or the interviewer rather, how many farmers do you think we've had at the farm over the years that we've trained?
Over 1,000.
Easy over 1,000.
Over 1,000. Mm-hmm. That's just in person. We also have a lot of virtual as well, mm-hmm. and doing different things. But guess what? It's universities. It's new farmers. It's beginning farmers. It's older farmers. And it's people who now believe they can be farmers, mm-hmm. because of a lot of things we've done in these it's been 11 years, Bill.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's been 11 years. But
I've got more gray hair. You look wonderful still, but I've got more gray hair.
Yeah, and just the importance of it. It's one thing to want to get into farming, but, it's a little bit more to it than just putting the seed in the ground. There's a lot of planning that goes with that. There's a lot of, soil incubations as far as making sure your soil is where it needs to be for that particular crop that you're trying to plant.
Absolutely.
And looking at, future yields as far as we grow this is how much you can look at yield, down to the pound. So just the importance of having someone like you in the state is definitely a blessing for us. And we want to challenge new farmers that they need to make sure that they reach out to some type of horticulture professional.
Oh, and there are a lot of great ones around. When we go out to a field, like for instance, if I go up to Clarksdale, I'm working with the farmers up there, mm-hmm. The limited resource, the small Black farmers up mm-hmm. there, mm-hmm. and I'm in the field doing a presentation. I usually start with something where it's a three-pronged approach. You have to approach your farm as a business,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Because otherwise it's a garden.
That's right.
And a garden in September, we have less money than when we started.
That's right.
In May
Right.
or April.
That's right.
But in a farm, our goal is to have more money at the end.
Yes.
So we need to have someone that can grow stuff. We need to have someone that can sell stuff. And we need to have someone that can do all the stuff that no one else wants to do, the accounting, the bookkeeping, the human resources, the purchasing and all of that stuff. And that's what I teach the small farmers. That's what I like to teach the small farmers. Even though I'm just a soil scientist and just a plant scientist, I start with that, and then I go to the soils and
You
stuff.
never jest a small anything, Dr. Bill.
Thank you.
Your magnitude of knowledge makes a big difference, and you bring that openly, and you break it down into terms. We love this. We do it between ourselves with Dr. Bill and I. You know, he'll go in and he'll do this, and I say, well, what he said was, because he brings it and we break it down, so it can be simple for everyone to know what we need to do and how truly not easy, but there is a formula, there is a plan to everything you have to do when you're growing, from tomatoes to spinach to cabbage to everything. And you have to know step 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and it has to go in that order.
Exactly. And when you were starting out a few years ago, we had you starting to stand on the shoulders of the giants and the other black farmers that were there before you and had already done it and knew why we planted greens at this spacing, or when we planted a crop to get the maximum yield, or how to irrigate it correctly. All these things.
And what irrigation is. I mean, we had to go from the beginning.
There she goes
to
again.
Understand it. What it is. What is this? How do you make this happen? Where does it come from? So all this information is a big part, which is reason I always say this is our mad plant scientist, not in a bad way, but in the way of he wants you to know everything. So let's take a plant, Dr. Bill. Let's take it from, here's the soil, what we need to do before we put that seed in there.
Okay, so we're recording this now. It's November. It's November right now. Now is the time, if you have a farm, you want to go out and you want to clean it up, get rid of all the extra plant material on the field, and now is the time to take a soil test. Now is the time to send a soil sample to your state university extension service lab or a commercial lab, and there are many to choose from. It's not that hard, it's not that expensive. In our state here in Mississippi, the Mississippi State University, it's $8 for a soil sample. You go and take about 10 cores of around the field.
What's cores, Dr. Bill?
Good point. So 10 scoops of soil, 10 scoops of soil, because most of us don't have a core. You're right, I have one, but most growers don't. So you take a trowel or a shovel, and you take 10 of those clumps of soil, you put them in a 5-gallon bucket, you stir them around, then you take 2 cups of that, you put it in a plastic bag, you label it with the field that it came from, you send it with a check for $8, or you take it down to your county extension office and they'll mail it for you. It's easy breezy. And again, there are commercial labs that do this. So now, in less than 2 weeks, you're going to get that data back.
And it comes to you electronically and printed if you make that choice. So it'll be there, so you can have it from then on to work with.
Exactly. So it'll come on your computer as an email, and it'll also come in the mail if you choose to do that. And if you need help understanding the report, because it's the first time you've done it, and that's very true for a lot of small farmers, they haven't done it, or they haven't done it in a while, because the reports did change a couple of years ago. You can go to your county office and they can help you understand it.
And your NRCS office as
So
well.
let's back up even from that, because you guys are talking acronyms. I always get on her about these acronyms.
Yes.
When we say your local office, just kind of either one of you explain when you say the local office exactly what you're talking about, and that this is a reference guide point for a beginning farmer.
That's a great point. Beginning farmers have 2 or 3 really good resources. First off, they have each other. It's really important that you build a peer network, and you don't have to like and agree with everyone in every farmer you meet, but eventually you'll build friendships in the industry, and they can tell you where to buy supplies, what varieties grow well, all that stuff. So you got those. Then you have the local extension service, and in most states there's a cooperative extension service, and the cooperative extension service is a service of the land-grant schools, and in the southern states we have 1862 schools, which are the historically white schools, if you will. And then we have the historically black extension services, the 1890 schools. And each of them have offices on their main campuses to serve growers, farmers, and ranchers. And they each have county offices. So they have what they call agents. And these agents are trained in specialties ranging from 4-H to cattle to vegetables. And you go into your county office with your questions. You can go in and learn about soil sampling. They have hundreds and hundreds of publications. They're online and they're in the office. So now we have
and they're free. All the service is free to anyone who wants to go in. But we also have the USDA NRCS office that's there in your counties as well that you can actually go to, and they too will review it with you.
And that's the third one. So we have our peers, we have extension, and then we have the U.S. Department of Agriculture and Natural Resources Conservation Service, which is NRCS. And in there, there's also a farm service agency, which manages finances for small farmers and large farmers alike. You know, when you hear about a large farmer getting a subsidy for his corn crop or something, that's FSA. Then there's another office in there called Rural Development, RD, and Rural Development does community building in agriculture areas. But these folks have so much expertise and so many publications and information. It can get overwhelming for a small farmer, actually.
Yeah.
But Bill, we also have the soil and water conservation districts that's also in the office that can work with you and be that buffer in between the community and the farmer and the agency. So there's a lot of people there that want to help to bring you the information that's needed and where to go. So you do have a one-stop shop in a way that you can go to find information out and learn more things.
Dr. Ayers, hold that thought. The A block is over.
Hello?
We'll be back after this break talking more with Dr. Bill Evans. You're watching Ag and Culture.
Heifer USA is a nonprofit that supports small-scale, sustainable livestock businesses, and we are currently seeking individuals interested in pastured pork production in the state of Mississippi. Applicants should have access to at least 35 acres of land and be willing to participate in in-depth training, both online and in person at Heifer Ranch in Perryville, Arkansas. To learn about our operation, check out the Pastured Pigs playlist on the Heifer USA YouTube channel, or contact Farmer Engagement Specialist Ruth Canada at 501-391-5511.
Footprint Farms is a beautiful 68-acre vegetable and cattle farm located in Jackson, Mississippi, and is Mississippi's largest urban farm. The mission of Footprint Farms is to provide the community access to healthy food choices, introduce our youth to agriculture, and provide training and technical assistance to small farmers and ranchers. The farm is open to the public every Friday from 2:30 to 5:30 p.m. to purchase fresh produce or visit us at the Mississippi Farmers Market located near the fairgrounds. We accept all forms of payment, including EBT and SNAP benefits. Looking for a beautiful venue for your next wedding, family reunion, or dinner? Footprint Farms offers a 3,000 square foot facility on 5 beautiful acres, perfect for your next event. For more information, visit our website at footprintfarms.com, Facebook and Instagram at Footprint Farms, or call us at 601-910-5534. Footprint Farms, farm fresh, city sweet. Hey, welcome back to Ag and Culture Season 2. We're talking with Dr. William Bruce Evans, Chief Strategist and Director of Horticulture Applications for BioSoil Enhancers out of Hattiesburg. We want to also make sure we give a shout out to our title sponsor, Heifer International USA. Thank you so much, guys. Hope you're watching there in North Little Rock this morning. Dr. Bill, let's kind of jump right back out into it. We were talking about NRCS and the functionality from a local level, a state level, and obviously when you're talking USDA, NRCS on a federal level. But all three have in common is that these are free resources to farmers and ranchers in your local areas.
Correct. We pay for these things with our taxes. If we're not using them, then that's kind of our own, we need to be using them more.
Sure.
It's free and available. As Dr. Cindy was saying a minute ago, we also have the soil and water conservation districts, which are run by the county, and they're officed usually in an NRCS office, but it's a county personnel position that can help with local soil and water conservation issues with your farm. And all farms have soil and water conservation issues. We use fertilizer, we use water for irrigation. Irrigation is just simply the application of water. For growing crops. We disturb or stir the soil or till the soil, so there's a chance of erosion. There's a chance of wind blowing in a place like, Kansas or something. And these offices can help us manage that. They can also help us find resources to help build systems that fight that on the farm, and reduce our cost of doing that.
And the local soil and conservation offices also, as a member or just as a farmer, you have access to some equipments that can be checked out from soil and conservation, such as maybe an implement or something like that.
Yeah, every county is different, and every county has different programs. In the county that we're in, we actually have a whole suite of vegetable production equipment that growers can sign out if they're in our county. We also have an animal doctoring suite that comes with a medical truck, a portable corral, and a portable squeeze chute and it'll handle everything from goats to cattle. And these things are virtually free. It's not zero for those. Other counties have different things depending on the local needs. And almost all of them have these tree sales too, if you're looking to get conservation covered.
So it'd be a good idea just to check with your local county and just kind of see what programs they have. But there will be something similar along those lines of providing some of actual asset help to up and coming small farmers.
And to existing farmers as well, not just up and coming. But if you're not sure you want to be a farmer, it's still a great place to go and to talk to the people there. But even more so, they also work closely with schools, the soil and water conservation districts, working again with bringing information to the schools and to the students that's there. So it is truly a community type of organization that's there to help and make a difference as relates to the soil, the water, and the air. In doing so,
it's really a great community resource.
It is, and every county has one. But again, there's different areas that they work in more so than others because one size don't fit all.
So Dr. Bill, this is a question we get a lot at the farm, just people calling. I've inherited, 25 to 30 acres of land. I'm not a farmer, but I'm looking to possibly look at farming it. From your perch, what would be one of the first things you would advise that person to do if they're looking to do that?
I would actually do what we've just been talking about. I would probably go to the NRCS office and the Soil and Water Conservation District, and I'd say, I have this piece of ground. I have these things on it now. And they'll start interviewing you. And you say, I want to farm it. Then they can go and they can they can pull it up on a computer. All the land in the United States is mapped for the soil type, the slope, the type of cover that's on it, the best type of farming on it. If you're on a rocky outcrop someplace, it's not a good piece of farm ground. But it might be a really cool place to build a house. So they'll do all of that with you. And it may be that your land is appropriate for farming. It may be that your land, that they'll steer you away from that. They'll steer you toward maybe tree farming instead of vegetable farming, or maybe cattle farming, which where you can have a cover that's what's called perennial. It's there all the time. It's there for years and years. And so start with that. Start with that resource there.
And that's a great resource because we get that question,
all the time.
A lot. Just people calling and just they've either inherited or it's been passed down through air property, and they want to be able to create a new legacy with it.
Absolutely.
So that's spot on with knowing that you have those resources who can really from day one start pointing you in the right direction as far as what will be habitable on that piece of land.
Yeah, you want the land to work for you. You don't want to work for the land.
Exactly. But another part about that is that you need to make sure when you inherit this land that it's in your name or it's in a trust, so you can know how you can approach it and what you can have access to do that. And that's so important for everybody to know this. You might have to go to the FSA office to see if there's an existing farm number, or you might have to register your farm to be a farm under USDA. Then you truly then have access to all of the agencies that's there.
And that would be one of the first things to do is to first of all see if there's a farm number already existing, and if not, then you would just basically do a new application. How difficult is that to do?
It's not difficult. In fact, it is truly easy and it's free for this number. But again, the importance of inheritance, if we both inherit this property, is it your name and my name? So that means it's two of us. So two of us have to be in agreement to go down and do this, not just one. So you have to look at how is the ownership. But everybody can still go and look and do it together. If it's a family, it's an heir property, then we need to talk about how do we work with the heirs in order to get this farm number. There's so many new things that's going on because right now with USDA, they're trying to help save and keep as much land as possible, especially in the Black communities and minority communities. But that is always a concern, that you have to know who has ownership to be able to improve the land. But it can be worked out.
And not only, I guess, improve it, but going into the future, the rights to it, so that if they pass that on, it doesn't get caught up in all this red tape and property.
And we end up losing the property or not having the right one paying the taxes on it. So it's important parts. But we talk about all of this, and there's workshops all over with our universities and other nonprofit groups talking about the importance of heir property, the importance of financial setup, the importance of if you need help, this is where you go. So again, we want to keep as much land active as possible, now more than ever, to see and to have that to produce revenue, but also to produce great products that's also helping taking care of the earth. You talk about climate control or climate smart. All of this is what you're planning, how you're planning, and planning more of it to make sure that next generation still have clean air, clean water, and rich soils.
Dr. Bill, I've been reading a lot in publications lately that we're possibly, when I say us, the United States possibly looking at a shortage of fertilizer. What are your thoughts on that, and how do you think, you know, the end game will truly affect farmers here in America?
Yeah, there is a shortage of fertilizer, and in some cases it's worse than in others. The war in Europe, the inflation rate that we have now, causing transportation issues. And some of the issues that we have with world oil supply, because a lot of nitrogen fertilizers in particular come from natural gas. We generate those using natural gas. But even phosphorus and potassium, which are the other two main things in fertilizer, those have to be mined, and they're only mined a few places in the world. And then they have to be shipped to where they're used. There's no phosphorus mines in Mississippi or Kansas, so we have to bring that stuff in. Same with the potassium. And we do have nitrogen production here in Mississippi, but it still uses natural gas, which has to be brought in. So it's a real challenge. It's going to be up and down. We're not going to see fertilizer prices come. They're going to come down a little bit this next year, I think. But the strain on the system is huge right now. And
because I think I bought some last week, and I was paying right at about $19 a bag.
So
versus last year, and you were for that, you know,
versus 10. Last year, you could probably get it for maybe, you know, 10, 11. But it just shows you that there's almost a $7 to $10 markup from just a year and a half, 2 years ago.
To go for large farmers to take you $19 a bag, that translates to $800 a ton. When you're a big farmer, that's $800 a ton. That's almost double what it was just 2 years ago. It's almost double what it was 2 years ago. And so we got to be efficient with our fertilizer.
And we shouldn't be using so much of it anyway if there's other ways we can utilize the nutrients. Let's talk about other nutrients that
was my segue
use.
into, if we're going to have a shortage, it could be a good thing, you know, but just straight up all Mother Nature natural, what are some of the things that would get just as a good effect as man-made fertilizer?
So there's a few things. Soil is broken rocks, right? Broken rocks with a little bit of dead plant material in it. That's basically what soil is. And it has nutrients in it, but it usually doesn't have it in the right balance or amount. So we add fertilizer. We can also add more organic matter, more dead plants, so compost and things like that.
Leaves.
Leaves.
Trees.
Grass, wood, kitchen scraps, things like that. We don't want to add meat to our growing places.
Recycled vegetables. So we're vegetable farmers, and we may have, you know, we consider DE grade that if it's not being fed to the cattle, we can compost that as well, which is what we try to practice.
Exactly, exactly. So if you're harvesting squash, one of them breaks in half, that can go back on the compost heap. Things like that are perfect. The company that I work for now makes microbes that are naturally occurring microbes. None of our stuff is genetically engineered or anything. And these microbes go in and they attach themselves to the roots, and they make acids along with the roots that bring more of the nutrients out of the soil and out of that organic matter into the plant. So that's the thing that we're doing with this. And we're working on some new products with some new microbes and all that.
Hold that thought. I want to hear more about
the microbes.
The microbes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
When we come back. And you're watching Ag and Culture Season 2.
At Heifer USA, we believe the backyard gardener can have a huge impact on their land, in their community, and on our climate. That's why we provide free virtual workshops for beginning, intermediate, and professional gardeners, teaching regenerative methods for growing healthy food while improving soil quality. Find us on YouTube at Heifer USA and join our online community of regenerative growers today.
Footprint Farms is a beautiful 68-acre vegetable and cattle farm located in Jackson, Mississippi, and is Mississippi's largest urban farm. The mission of Footprint Farms is to provide the community access to healthy food choices, introduce our youth to agriculture, and provide training and technical assistance to small farmers and ranchers. The farm is open to the public every Friday from 2:30 to 5:30 p.m. to purchase fresh produce or visit us at the Mississippi Farmers Market located near the fairgrounds. We accept all forms of payment, including EBT and SNAP benefits. Looking for a beautiful venue for your next wedding, family reunion, or dinner? Footprint Farms offers a 3,000 square foot facility on 5 beautiful acres, perfect for your next event. For more information, visit our website at footprintfarms.com, Facebook and Instagram at Footprint Farms, or call us at 601-910-5534. Footprint Farms, farm fresh, city sweet. Hey, welcome back to Ag and Culture. Our title sponsor, Heifer International USA. We're here with Dr. William Bruce Evans. We all
just call him Dr. Bill.
Well, it's Dr. Bill. You know, he's got these big new titles now, so it's only fitting that I give him his just due. Dr. William Bruce Evans, but affectionately known as Dr. Bill, on Ag and Culture. And we just want to get back to your new role, which is very exciting stuff with biosoil enhancers. And you were talking about the microbes and what you guys are doing. Just kind of repeat that a little bit when we talk about fertilizer alternatives.
Sure. So we can't do away with fertilizer.
Sure.
Plants need nutrients just like you and I need nutrients to grow. And some crops need a lot of them. But what we can do is we can enhance the ability of the plant to get nutrients out of the soil. And that's what our product does. Our product has 4 microbes in it. Our main product right now has four microbes in it. And each milliliter, or that, imagine, just the tip of the pen here is what a milliliter is, has over 10 million microbes in it. There's 10 million cells in there that are going to go in, and so these things go in and they attach themselves to the root, or they grow in the soil around the roots. And the microbes themselves release similar acids to what the root does to extract nutrients out of the soil. They help the plant get more of the nutrients that are in there. So we do what we enhance the efficiency of the nutrient uptake. So if a plant only gets 20% of the nitrogen we apply, maybe with our product they get 25, which would be a 25% increase. From 20 to 25 is a 25% increase. So that means we can use up to 25% less fertilizer in certain situations. Sometimes we've seen it where we get 50% reductions in fertilizer and still get the same yield. Or even higher yield.
Wow.
I don't like to use the 50, but I'm pretty comfortable with 0 to 25 is a real, not everything works in all situations, but it's a way to improve the organic matter. It's a way to get it enhances the ability of farmers to get carbon credits. If you're talking about a big farmer, it's really neat stuff.
So, but Dr. Bill, can any small farmer participate or utilize this microbes as well? Is it for just large farmers that's out there, 1,000 acres, 100 acres, or can a small farmer, a backyard farmer, let's say backyard, that has 10 acres or more or less can utilize it? Can anyone do it?
Yeah, absolutely. We ship 5,000 gallon containers of our product across to Asia and Africa, and down to South America. But we have quart jars. We have 4-ounce jars.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to ask you. How is it deployed? Is it it's a liquid?
It's a liquid that's compatible and you can apply it to the soil. You can apply it foliarly. We recommend a split application where we put some on at the beginning of the season when you're planting, and then another over the top onto the leaves about 30 days later.
Okay.
And it's easy to mix. It's shelf stable for more than a year. And again, it's available in consumer packs for gardeners. It's available for small farmers. And the cost is pretty reasonable.
And it's not GMO. I mean, every time we think about the enhancement, everybody is GMO, but it's not that. You talk to them about that.
No, so what we've done is we've taken naturally occurring soil bacteria that are found all around the world, and we get this one from over here and that one from over there. We combine them all in one jar, but then we go into the lab. We don't go do GMO stuff, but we go and we'll grow 1,000 different Petri plates of this stuff from one, and then we'll pick out one cell that's better than the others, one that's doing more of what we want it to do than the others. Now we have what's called a strain of our own. So in our jars, we have the strains that are just ours. And these are, they do what the natural ones do, but they do it even better without any genetic modification. It's just selection.
And
it's
so
just picking the prettiest rows on the bush.
So now we're talking about the research side. So now this is truly where Dr. Bill Belligwick is, or his area of expertise, is now this is all part of the research and doing this to get it ready for use to everyone who wants to utilize it.
Correct. And in fact, one of the things I'm new to the company. One of the things I'm charged to do is to see, we have some other microbes on the shelf that are not in the product, but they're in other products that we're doing. And now we're going to start building some custom things. So we have a vegetable-specific one. We have one for sandy soils.
This is Dr. Bill's Belligwick. This is about research. This is what you really go after to make a difference in helping others. So again, anyone, small farmer, backyard gardener, can have access, which is always my magic word. Do we have access to these things that are going on? And is it affordable?
Absolutely. It is affordable. We have it in packs from 4 ounces, which would be for a gardener or a high tunnel or something like that, all the way up to 500 and 1,000 gallon containers, and we even have a 5,000 gallon container that we can send overseas. But for small farmers and for small farmers that we're talking about here, it's easy to apply. You can apply it with a backpack sprayer, mix it up with water. We usually like a split application where we go half of it at planting and then half of it as a foliar or a side dress over this, next to the plant about 30 days later.
So, and again, it makes a big difference in your yield that you're growing, but also you feel better about taking this time to nourish this plant that you're growing, knowing that you've done everything you can do with enhancers. And how long is it good for? Is it good for just one crop? When we go back and we start again, we have to start the whole process back over, just like we would any nutrients?
Yeah, we recommend, because you have a whole another crop and usually, and time has passed, we recommend that you do another application for the next crop.
So are we going to start having more classes about this, or information that's coming out, so that we can get this to new farmers, small farmers, and farmers in general? They can go to your website to get more information about this?
Yeah, we have a website, sumagrow.com. Sumagrow is the product that we have, and sumagrow.com is the website. We're actually, I'm not sure I can speak too specifically about it, but we're about to engage in doing a whole bunch of trainings around the state of Mississippi on it. And then some of those trainings we're going to post as videos on the website as we redevelop the website.
We love that, and we hope we're the broadcasting piece that actually does that recording for you.
I'm looking forward
to
the
go throughout the country with that, with this type of partnership, as well as to have this as a demonstration or something else we'll use in our toolbox at Footprint Farms. We're excited about that.
And I think I heard you say that you have the applications for different growers. You have them for row crop growers, I'm sure, but you also have them for vegetable farmers as well. So is there different applications, or is it the same makeup but maybe different?
So we're developing products right now that are going to be specific for narrower sets of crops. So we're going to have a product in 23 or 24 for dry corn, for field corn, for corn for grain. We're going to have another one for winter forage crops, which is ryegrass and things like that that cattle are grazed on in the fall. I have another one for fruits and vegetables, maybe one specifically for larger crops like tomatoes, and those are all coming. Those are all coming.
And the whole point of what you guys are doing, what you're creating, is to reduce the amount of irrigation that you may need and reduce maybe the amounts of fertilizers that you'll need. Not they don't take the place of them, but it'll maybe help you use less of it, which means that it's more sustainability from a natural resource standpoint. We may be using less water and being maybe at some point down the road even a little bit less and less fertilizer with these enhancers.
Yeah, so the microbes are going to make a healthier plant. They're going to make a healthier soil. They're going to increase, and a healthier plant is more resistant to pests and things. And we're going to, with that, we'll be able to reduce the amount of fertilizer that we use and improve the water use efficiency. I'm not going to say that we're going to reduce the amount of irrigation. Irrigation, you want to be very careful about changing irrigation.
Yes.
We don't necessarily want to do that, but we can reduce the amount of fertilizer that you use. Some situations be just 5% or something. Others it'll be 30 or 40% reduction in fertilizer, and still get the same yield. We also get something. Are you familiar with bricks?
Tell us about bricks.
So bricks is actually a wine term.
We're talking wine now?
Yeah, well, we're almost done with the segment.
Should we call Eric about wine? No, tell us about wine.
Absolutely. So bricks is used in the wine industry to measure the sugar content and the sweetness of the wine. A higher bricks wine will have a higher alcohol content. But we also use it to measure the sweetness of melons. And we use it to measure the health, the relative health of a plant. Our product, over and over again in trials across the country and across the globe, has shown to raise the bricks levels in plants. And that indicates better health of the plant.
Oh, a sweeter wine.
A sweeter wine, yes.
So LeGrand, when we're thinking about ag and culture and the importance of the mission here to get information out, Dr. Bill, is this type of information on the cutting edge and that we want small farmers to know, especially black farmers or farmers of color, so that we can help, not just, catch up is a good word, to help have the access right now and available to move us ahead or to even bring us to produce a better quality and more yield of what we're growing. So it's all about information and how we get information out to everyone else to make a difference. Education?
Absolutely, and we talked about that. You need to network with your neighbors and your fellow farmers. You need to take advantage of the Extension Service, the USDA Natural Resources Conservation Service, the Farm Service Agency or FSA, the Rural Development Office, as well as the Soil and Water Conservation Districts, as well as your 1890s land grant schools and your 1862 land grant schools, and just become a sponge for knowledge and build a farm that is your farm.
Yes, because everyone is different. Everything won't work for one that will work with others depending on your volume, but you can see a difference. So thinking about that, Dr. Bill, and we're in Mississippi, but of course all the South, we have pretty much the same type of climate, yet the soil is so different. So it's so important for everyone to have that soil tested so they can see where it is. So you got to start from there and see what has to be or needs to be added, because you can put too much of everything on there and spend more money and have a worse crop.
Exactly. Whether it's a cattle ranch or a vineyard or a flower farm, every farm starts with the soil. You have to know what you have, what the soil texture is, that's the amount of sand and clay in it, as well as the fertility of it. And then you can make good farming decisions.
So what about water-based? I mean, right now we're looking at and we're doing different trials, and we're actually doing aeroponics and hydroponics. How does that relate to the nutrients that you're referencing to for looking at a new way, another way of producing using water, water-based?
Vertical growing.
We have a few growers that use hydroponics.
We're gonna talk about that at the next.
We're gonna talk about aeroponics because again, we started throwing out these words. I want people to understand what we're talking about. We'll be right back. Dr. Bill Evans with Biosoil Enhancers out of Hattiesburg, Mississippi. More ag and culture when we come back.
Heifer USA is a leader in regenerative agricultural practices, like our pastured pork production operation. Raising pigs on pasture allows the animals to flourish in their natural habitat while building organic soil matter and restoring soil biodiversity. And we're sharing our knowledge with viewers like you with in-depth training videos on raising pastured pork, poultry, cattle, and sheep. Find us on YouTube at Heifer USA and join our online community of regenerative ranchers today.
Footprint Farms is a beautiful 68-acre vegetable and cattle farm located in Jackson, Mississippi, and is Mississippi's largest urban farm. The mission of Footprint Farms is to provide the community access to healthy food choices, introduce our youth to agriculture, and provide training and technical assistance to small farmers and ranchers. The farm is open to the public every Friday from 2:30 to 5:30 p.m. to purchase fresh produce or visit us at the Mississippi Farmers Market located near the fairgrounds. We accept all forms of payment, including EBT and SNAP benefits. Looking for a beautiful venue for your next wedding, family reunion, or dinner? Footprint Farms offers a 3,000 square foot facility on 5 beautiful acres, perfect for your next event. For more information, visit our website at footprintfarms.com, Facebook and Instagram at Footprint Farms, or call us at 601-910-5534. Footprint Farms, farm fresh, city sweet. Hey, welcome back to Ag and Culture, proudly sponsored by Heifer International USA. We're here with Dr. Bill Evans, Chief Strategist and Director of Horticulture Applications for Biosoil Enhancers, located in South Mississippi in the hub city of Hattiesburg, Mississippi. And before we went to break, we had started kind of talking about the enhancers, but now we started talking about vertical growing, and we started talking about aeroponics, A-E-R-O ponics, which means
straight up,
right? And then we actually have aqua,
means fish,
or means water, or means fish.
Yeah, aqua.
Because a lot of times people hear that, they think, okay, it's water based, which it has water in all of them, but just kind of, basically explain the difference between
and it is hydro,
the hydro and aero, and we'll go back to aero and just show that may be the future of farming, not only on a large scale, but just as a citizen in your home of growing foods in aeroponics.
Yeah, so there's 3 different systems that are all very closely related, and Dr. Cindy's done all 3 of them over the years in one form or fashion. So there's hydroponics, which a lot of people know about. That's growing your plant roots in a water-based nutrient solution. So you got the fertilizer in the water's circulating around the roots, and the plant grows above the water. So that's hydroponics. Aeroponics is the same idea, but instead of the roots growing in a pool of water, they're growing in a mist of water. And so the roots are misted either continuously or intermittently, once in a while, with a spray of the nutrient solution. So they're kind of hanging and dangling in the air, but they're kept moist by this spray that goes on them.
And they never touch the ground.
And they never touch the ground. This is all soil-less. This is without soil. So it's a clean, sterile environment. And then you have aquaponics, which was the other one you mentioned, and that's a cool system, but it's the most complicated system of all because it's growing plants and animals together, and usually in aquaponics the animals are fish.
Yes.
And the fish will grow in the water solution around the base of the roots of your plant, and there's a separation between the roots and the top, so that water's not. But down in there, so the fish. We'll feed the fish, and then the fish extracts, the wastes, will become nutrients for your plants. They become part of the fertilizer system for your plants.
It's a living organism fertilizer.
Yeah, it's just like in essence, we've created a pond or a marsh system, but we've created it in a bucket. So we have all the living creatures there in one place, and we get beautiful produce on the top.
Yeah, and one reason I always talk about aeroponics is because it's affordable and individuals can have it. Because we look at now, especially in urban areas or areas where there's no land available, but yet you still want to eat healthier. You want to grow some of your own food. and you don't have a backyard to do it in,
Yep.
you can do it in this aeroponics in this tower, because you can grow it inside with lights or outside with sunlights, and you'll need a lot of space.
And that's
it's a
the
separate
beauty
ones.
of that. What I say, you either can grow it in a high-rise apartment or a small patio at an apartment, or in a corner of your living room in your home. And I think that's what makes this, you know, like you said, it's so clean and sterile, and there's sustainability, and you're not having to work out in the elements with this, because it pretty much does it itself. It irrigates itself once you plant it, and then you basically do your acidity test once a week just to make sure that your water, your pH balance is there. So you know, we have dozens of them at the farm that we utilize for growing mostly lettuce. But what are some of the best crops that, I mean, obviously lettuce does wonderful and it grows in abundance. What would be the one, if somebody went out and got one of these water towers, what crops would you recommend? What vegetable would you recommend to see that real yield versus, you know, when we say you can plant anything and you're trying to plant peppers, even though they may be nice little patio peppers, but is that the best thing for abundance that you can just kind of clip and go?
Well, one of the things I want you to think about, if you just have one tower, you're pretty well just growing for self. You're growing for your household. And you want to look at, for me, looking at 4 or 5 different things you're growing at one time. You're making even your salad bowl. You're growing your lettuce. You may be growing your basil. You might be growing other herbs to go in there with that, or 2 different color lettuce. And you can have that and just clip it. And you said something that was very important. I'm hoping everybody heard that. It's self-sufficient. It turns itself on. It turns itself off. It does the lighting that's needed. And you just have to give it the love and check that pH. Just like in any soil test, it's the same test for water that you look at to make sure that the pH is not too high or not too low, but just right for growing, which is something you need to look at.
And how to harvest it, because just because you get a full, beautiful head of lettuce, you don't have to chop that whole
and you don't pull it out.
You don't pull it out. You just kind of clip around it. And that's more sustainability, because that lettuce is going to continue to grow.
And see, that's the beautiful part about it. You all your tools you need no tractors. You just need a good pair of scissors. And you don't have to worry about refrigeration, because you're usually cutting it when you're ready to eat it.
That's the cool part about this, is that you say, hey, let me just go in the living room and chop us off a little salad and some herbs to go with our salad. I mean, that's real sustainability in a real practical way.
And it's getting healthy foods into your bodies in a taste that your palate likes, and is different now when you go out to a store or somewhere else that's been sitting for a long time. Local farmers' food is so great.
It is.
So we always should look at local, and I encourage everyone to go to your local farmer's market, to talk to your local farmer, to see what's there, and help as much as possible for them to continue to grow, because this is a dying breed. It's having small farms to be able to grow right then and there.
But I think there's, you know, the phoenix rising from the ashes. Every time we have a conference or some type of workshop on the farm, it's exciting to see, you know, younger people that are really not only engaged, but they're actually putting it into operation and practice. That's really refreshing. It is a dying breed, but I feel really comfortable about the future, because I see so many folk like me who are just non-traditional farmers, grew up around it, did it, but never was a bona fide farmer. But just to see my age group, and even some that's younger, that are really excited about agriculture. And I'm gonna shout out Sippy Farms, located in Utica, Mississippi. They're an up and coming vegetable farm that they just have this really neat
we're gonna have them on
greenhouse, and they're seeding. And they're growing Swiss chard. They're doing it, and it's refreshing to see. And even his help that's out there are up and coming young farmers as well, who are really excited about what they're doing.
And that's a teaching. And we'll be talking soon about a new project that we're partnering with a new sponsor we'll be talking about coming soon, about what we're doing and how we're able to bring a lot of the smaller farmers together and to have a place that they can come and bring their goods as well as get a decent price for it. So that's coming. I'm excited about that. The new partnership that's coming. We're going to be utilizing our mad plant scientists over here to be able to help us to grow this. And the new partners that see the importance of where your food comes from and asking that question, where did this come from? How was it grown? Yeah. Excited. So Dr. Bill, one more time for you before we leave. Tell us what you're thinking about and other things we can look forward to.
And how can I get my hands on some of this exciting product from BioSoil Enhancers? How can I get my microbes on?
I love that. Microbes on.
So the product is SumaGrow. SUMAGROW.
Okay, it's on the screen.
Oh, look at that. It's on the screen and
Thank
everything.
you, Mr. C.
Thank you, Mr. Producer. That's awesome. And people can call the office and order it. They can go onto the website and order it. And we'd love that to happen. We would love that to happen.
As well as we hope to get a workshop going soon again, and on the farm or some other places to have you talk about it and even demonstrate it.
Well,
the product,
I can't talk about it yet either,
yet?
but rumor has it that we'll be doing a significant amount of workshops around the state of Mississippi over the coming couple of years to train folks in farming as well as introduce them to the microbes.
And also with Climate Smart, how do we help take care of the earth?
These are going to be conservation workshops. These are going to be conservation workshops.
So these are great rumors. I've heard those same things.
I've heard these rumors.
Dr. Bill, you have this lovely magazine here. You want to share with us what's it about?
That's another cool thing. I would encourage.
Let's show the front of that
first.
first.
Listeners, this is one of many great vegetable catalogs, and I got to tilt it right.
Bring it in.
Your camera.
Yep.
There you go.
There you go.
There we go. All right. So there we go. So, so that's Harris catalog. This
It's my favorite.
Look at all of these vegetables in here. It's just chock-a-block with vegetables.
So Harris is just one of the golden staples of seeds. This book basically is a book where you can purchase seeds for your crops, whether it's tomatoes. There's a plethora of different type of tomato seeds you can buy. I saw the corn. There were so many different kinds of corns you could raise.
Supplies.
All kind of greens and supplies and different things like that. So from a farmer's perspective, this is one of our go-tos, getting ready for, planning for talking about spring now. So that's the other thing is that, while fall is just now getting here, we're already planning and talking about spring.
Yeah, we can kind of...
But we don't talk about, we want to give play to Johnny Seeds. This is also another great catalog. We want to talk about High Mowing, which has been one of our sponsors in the past for giving seeds and getting seeds so we can actually give to other farmers, which is an organic seed they have. And we have a couple others that
there's a small seed company that features the African diaspora of plants called True Love Seed out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. But they're connected to Mississippi because the mom of one of the founders lives here in the Delta, and she's a wonderful woman, Miss Newsom.
Wow.
See, and we want to also encourage you to talk up to your area if there's any seed exchanging that's there that especially crops are doing. So some exciting places
Dr.
to get
Bill,
some great seed.
Hour goes by really fast when you're having fun. We want to really thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. Dr. Bill Evans, Chief Scientist, Director of Horticulture Application for BioSoil.
It's season 2 of Ag and Culture, and of course we are talking culture. Tune in for great guests and conversation, breaking down all things agriculture. Watch us on our YouTube channel, MS Footprint Farms, and on Facebook at Footprint Farms, every Tuesday, 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern, and 7 a.m. on the West. Proudly sponsored by Heifer USA.
Heifer USA is a nonprofit that supports small-scale, sustainable livestock businesses, and we are currently seeking individuals interested in pastured pork production in the state of Mississippi. Applicants should have access to at least 35 acres of land and be willing to participate in in-depth training, both online and in person at Heifer Ranch in Perryville, Arkansas. To learn about our operation, check out the Pastured Pigs playlist on the Heifer USA YouTube channel, or contact Farmer Engagement Specialist Ruth Canada at 501-391-5511.
Footprint Farms is a beautiful 68-acre vegetable and cattle farm located in Jackson, Mississippi, and is Mississippi's largest urban farm. The mission of Footprint Farms is to provide the community access to healthy food choices, introduce our youth to agriculture, and provide training and technical assistance to small farmers and ranchers. The farm is open to the public every Friday from 2:30 to 5:30 p.m. to purchase fresh produce or visit us at the Mississippi Farmers Market located near the fairgrounds. We accept all forms of payment, including EBT and SNAP benefits. Looking for a beautiful venue for your next wedding, family reunion, or dinner? Footprint Farms offers a 3,000 square foot facility on 5 beautiful acres, perfect for your next event. For more information, visit our website at footprintfarms.com, Facebook and Instagram at Footprint Farms, or call us at 601-910-5534. Footprint Farms, farm fresh, city sweet.
When you mention agriculture, most people think of farming. That's planting, growing, harvesting, and selling crops grown in a field, laboring in those fields behind a mule and a plow from dusk to dawn every day. This vision is a big misconception and could not be further from the truth. According to the United States Department of Agriculture, USDA, the agricultural industry and related industries provide 11% of jobs in America. In 2017, it was reported that 21.6 million Americans were employed in the agricultural industry. Women and minorities are underrepresented in those numbers, and we encourage you to consider agriculture as a career. While farming may be the cornerstone of agriculture, the overall world of agriculture is highly innovative and is so much more than just farming. A new generation of agriculture professionals prepare to take on the science, technology, and management that exist in the world of agriculture. Jobs in agriculture are segmented into 7 basic categories, which include plant science, natural resources, food science, ag business, ag mechanics, and technology. In those categories, you can find individuals working as landscape designers, publicists, foresters, plant doctors, journalists, accountants, veterinarians, farmers, ranchers, lawyers, engineers, pet groomers, loggers, agronomists, zoologists, wind turbine technicians, researchers, policy analysts, food safety, drone pilots, robotics, and the list goes on and on and on. Let us take a moment to hear from a few of those professionals who work in ag.
I am Dr. Cindy Ayers Elliott, CEO of Footprint Farms, a 68-acre urban farm and ranch here in the city of Jackson. I hold a degree in Business Administration and Finance and a degree in Economic Development from the University of Massachusetts Amherst, and a PhD from the I Love Jackson State University in Urban Management and Higher Education. I've worked 26 years on Wall Street, traveling the world, and today I'm a full-time farmer, growing a variety of specialty crops and raising livestock. I am a farmer.
Hi, my name is Bill Evans, and I'm the Director of Development and Chief Horticulturist at Biosoil Enhancers in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. I've worked in vegetable crops for almost 30 years now, running university research farms in Ohio and Mississippi and doing applied soil and crop research. At Biosoil Enhancers, I write grant proposals for field research projects. I also conduct research and farm demonstrations on how bacteria and fungi can help plants get more nutrients from the soil and help conserve natural resources on farms.
Hello, I'm Tanya Gray Jenkins. I'm the publicist and social media director for Footprint Farms. I hold a Bachelor of Science degree in computer science from Jackson State University. As a publicist, I generate publicity through the use of techniques in advertising, marketing, and public relations. My primary duty is brand development through social media. As the social media director, I manage the company's online community by reading customers' comments, answering questions, and actively engaging the audience.
Hi, my name is Dr. David K. Powell. I attended Jackson State University for 2.5 years as an undergraduate, majoring in biology before transferring to Tuskegee University, where I was accepted into the veterinary medical program, becoming a second-generation veterinarian to graduate from Tuskegee's program. I have also served in the military as an Army veterinary preventive medical officer and as a supervisory public health veterinarian with FSIS USDA.
My name is Dr. Kara Woods, and I serve as the research analyst at the Socially Disadvantaged Farmers and Ranchers Policy Research Center that's housed at Alcorn State University. I have a PhD from Tuskegee in Public Policy and Development. I manage all the research that's funded at the Policy Center to make sure that farmers get what they need in the Farm Bill.
Hi, I'm Captain John Martin with the Jackson Fire Department, and I do social media marketing. Social media is an essential component of farming because social media closes the gap between farmers and consumers. Social media marketing helps bring awareness and visibility to surrounding communities and abroad. Your average produce will have traveled at least 1,500 miles before entering your local grocery store. Social media marketing allows consumers to be informed and access better quality food in their local vicinity. Wow. It's so amazing seeing people connect and interact with local farmers via social media.
As you can see, agriculture offers endless career possibilities, endless opportunities for exciting, fulfilling, and profitable careers.